special Fiesta episode of Food Factory, we say, I do to Mexican wedding cookies.
Get a chip on her shoulder.
And down a muy bueno margarita.
But first, to get the most out of your Fiesta, you're going to want a food that's flavorful, fun, and fancy-free.
Oh yeah, that's right. With Cedar Lane's chili and cheese tamales, there's no need to be tied to your dining room table.
Even if it is just an upside-down cardboard box in your parents' basement.
Hey, you promised not to tell.
It's a very handy food. Small portion. You can eat one or many.
I'll eat many, thanks.
Let's head to Fiesta Centrale, otherwise known as Cedar Lane's factory in Carson, California.
This chili and cheese tamale starts with, you guessed it, chilies.
We have the three amigos in this tamale, the serrano, the poblano, and the jalapeno.
Ay, caramba.
Ole.
The chilies are carried up, then dropped into a flume that gives them the old slosh and wash.
They emerge from the other end of the tank, clean and ready for action.
The fiery little peppers are scooped up into a dicer that chops them uniformly and shoots them out into bins.
The mixed chilies are tossed in a little oil, spread onto lined baking pans, and baked at 260 degrees Celsius for 15 minutes.
Roasting the chilies makes the flavor more complex and less pow.
When the chilies are roasted, they're moved in bins to the horizontal mixer.
The chilies are poured into the bin that will lift them up and into the mixer itself.
Look, Ma, no hands. Then comes sauce, made from crushed tomatoes.
And finally, the secret to an ooey gooey tamale.
Cheers, 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 cheers.
That's right, cheddar, Monterey Jack, and cotija cheese is added to the mixer.
A blend of spices is added to create the signature Mexican flavor. And then...
the mixer does what it was born to do. Mix. Mix like the wind, you horizontal mixing minx.
Now that everything is thoroughly combined, the mixer pours the tamale filling into a cart position below.
For a great tamale, the crust is every bit as important as the filling. It starts with 125 kilograms of sweet corn that gets ground into a paste.
Once it reaches the right consistency, the corn is transferred to our old pal, the horizontal mixer.
Olé! Next comes cornmeal, baking soda, sugar, salt, and 20 kilograms of butter.
The mixing starts. Then 18 kilograms of water is added. And finally, 50 kilograms of masa, a special type of corn flour.
The mixer works its magic for 20 minutes until the corn dough is thoroughly combined.
The dough is dumped out into another large cart. And it's moved to the extruder. This machine pushes out fully formed tamales with the filling surrounded by the fluffy corn crust.
People in Mexico have been eating tamales for thousands of years, but until the extruder came onto the scene, it was very work-intensive.
They're taking the corn and they're taking that handle and smushing it by hand. They're working all day to make maybe around a couple dozens, you know.
Cedar Lane, on the other hand, can make 14,000 tamales each shift. Current mood, feeling #blessed for #extruders.
Hooray for that!
The tamales plop out onto a conveyor and are grabbed and transferred to a second conveyor that takes them to the wrapping team.
So even with modern automation, there's still plenty of work to do by hand at Cedar Lane. The wrapping line wraps each tamale by hand in a double layer of corn husks.
Here's an important heads up for our beloved viewers who may not be well versed at the art of the tamale. Don't eat the husk.
No. You cannot bite into it. Even if you want to try, you fail.
So in short...
don't eat the corn husk.
Cedar Lane soaks bundles of corn husks in water to make sure that they're soft, pliable, and easy to work with.
This wrapping keeps the tamales neat and tidy and helps make them the ultimate portable food.
The tamales are loaded into perforated trays that get mounted on a rack.
Once the rack is full, it's wheeled onto a muy caliente steamer at 120 degrees Celsius for a 25-minute schwitz. Is there a Spanish word for schwitz?
No, say. The tamales are cooked by steaming, which penetrates the wrapper, cooks the tamale evenly, and keeps them moist.
After they're cooked, the rack is wheeled out, careful now, to allow the tamales to cool.
Once they're mucho frio, they're moved to trays and transferred to the packaging line.
Each tamale is placed onto this conveyor, which carries it through a horizontal flow wrapper that seals each tamale in a cellophane bag.
The wrapped tamales continue up a conveyor into a spiral freezer. The corn husks protect the tamale during the cooking, freezing, and reheating process, so when you cook one at home, it's just as delicioso as it was the moment it was made.
The frozen tamales return from their chilly excursion, ready for packaging.
They descend the conveyor towards the packaging line, where every single day is a fiesta.
The retail boxes are formed automatically, 2 at a time. The packagers seize the tamales and slide them into open boxes.
The boxes get automatically sealed, and 12 boxes are packed into each master case.
Each shift, Cedar Lane produces 1,200 of these cases, ready to send out to your fiesta.
Ole tamale.
It was created in 1938 for a former Ziegfeld dancer who would only drink tequila.
Or maybe it was invented in 1941 in Ensenada.
Or maybe it was even created in 1948 for the singer Peggy Lee and named for the Spanish version of Margaret.
Well, regardless of where it came from, the margarita is here now.
Fiesta!
Fiesta!
We're the co-founders of Black Fly Beverage Company.
Tequila, lime juice, and just a hint of salt make Black Fly Beverages' version of the margarita mucho auténtico.
It's made with genuine Mexican tequila, and it really adds life to a party. It's a great classic cocktail to serve at the best fiesta ever.
Which explains why Black Fly Beverages in London, Ontario is buzzing.
Black fly is a metaphor. We knew that we were coming into the industry. We were going to be a very small player, so we liked the metaphor of the tiny little black fly insect coming in to take a bite of the market.
The margarita starts with Brent adding cane sugar to a mixing tank, where it's heated until it liquefies.
He adds some salt with a mixture of the other dry ingredients.
The mixture is cooled before adding lime and lemon juice.
Finally, the good stuff goes in. Real Mexican tequila, or as I like to call it, tequila.
This is pure tequila. Woo!
Easy there, muchacho.
I'm very professional.
We're professional, Brent. Now that all the ingredients are in there, it's mixed up thoroughly.
And piped through the carbo cooler, which cools the beverage while also carbonating it lightly.
The finished tequila margarita is pumped into a pressurized filling tank, all ready for drink.
Now that the beverage is ready to go, Black Fly has to make something to put it into.
They blow their own custom bottles with a stretch blower that runs 24 hours a day.
The stretch blower is loaded with plastic preforms that look kind of like test tubes. Sorta.
The preforms are conveyed through a tunnel that heats them to 38 degrees Celsius to soften them. Then they continue into molds, where they're blasted with 500 psi of high-pressure air.
That air puffs them up, and like magic, the preforms turn into Black Fly's distinctive bottle. In a 12-hour shift, this machine can make 50,000 bottles.
One of the unique things about Black Fly Margarita is that you can create a slush right in the bottle. The bottle will not break in the freezer, but you can create your own slush. Forget the blender. Just chill it down, slush it out.
That's a saucy little number right there.
Cheers.
Back on the production floor, these ingeniously designed bottles go into a giant tote, and a crane lifts it into the unscrambler. The bottles are dumped into the hopper and drop down into the whirling bowl below. Olé!
The bottles rattle around the spinning bowl of the unscrambler until they get caught and oriented correctly to get shuffled onto the conveyor.
Even though these bottles have just been made right in this factory, they're rinsed to be double extra sure that they're pristine and ready for the tangy margarita.
The conveyor whisks the bottles along to the filler, which can fill up to 133 bottles per minute.
Because Black Fly Tequila Margarita is lightly carbonated, the beverage is kept at 1 degree Celsius for filling. This prevents it from foaming up when it's pumped into the bottles.
The filled bottles march on to the capper, which can twist caps onto 4 bottles at a time.
The bottles have waterproof poly labels applied. They'll stay stuck on these bottles at the pool, in a bucket of ice, or even just if you're working up a sweat on a hot summer night.
Yeah, that's handy for me because I sweat a lot. Like a lot. It's the Mexican food that does it. You know, I love it, baby, but oh boy, do I get drenched.
I've noticed that. It's revolting.
Hey, now that the bottles are all ready, they get put into 4-packs by hand. Their innovative packaging doesn't use any glue, just cleverly engineered folds and tabs.
Wow, is it me? Or are those packers on fire? Oh, fuego!
I'm the fastest packer. I'm the fastest packer.
Okay, to the pedal. 3, 2, 1, go!
Fuel away! Ay, caramba. Guy on the right. I knew you had it in you.
The finished 4-packs are placed into 24-bottle shipping boxes and conveyed through an automatic taper.
The boxes get stacked and palletized. Black Fly uses a biodegradable shrink wrap made out of corn.
Ooh, like tortillas. It's a giant black fly burrito.
Sort of. Anyway, the refreshing drink is ready to fuel fiestas across the whole country.
Ooh, let's plan the best fiesta night ever.
Oh, I could bring some Mexican wedding cookies.
I know where I can get some guaca chips.
I'll grab some chili and cheese tamales, too.
Kathy, Rob, what are you guys gonna bring?
Mexican 9-layer dip. Delicious.
Guacamole, salsa, corn chips.
Anything else?
I would say some tacos, some enchiladas, like a lovely Mexican meal, homemade, authentic flavors, and of course,
A mariachi band.
Come on, guys, you're killing me here.
a mariachi band, and pitchers and pitchers of Black Fly Tequila Margarita.
Oh, now you're talking. Fiesta!
You've got your tortilla chips over here and your guacamole over there. Chip, dip, repeat.
Yeah, that's all fine and good, but chip to dip to mouth is a lot of work. We gotta cut out the middleman here.
That's where El Sabroso guaca chips come in. Guacamole flavored tortilla chips.
Perfecto para su fiesta. You would be the hit of your fiesta if you brought these to the party, because our slogan says it all, the dips and the chip.
You know, I like to think that I'm the hit of my fiesta no matter what.
Keep thinking that, amigo. Snack King makes their El Sabroso line of Mexican chips at this massive 180,000 square foot temple to snack food in City of Industry, California.
Each guaca chip starts as corn. These super sacks are filled with 900 kilograms of corn that's already been cooked, then dehydrated before it arrives at Snack King.
The super sack is lifted up, placed on a hopper, and is opened up to allow the corn to pour into this giant mixer where it's rehydrated.
Super sack, super chip, super fiesta.
To create the guaca chip's signature green hue, Guillermo pours in 140 milliliters of a top-secret sauce and 2.2 kilograms of dried parsley.
The mixer pushes out large chunks of green corn dough. Then a device called a kibler breaks that into smaller pieces that fall onto this conveyor.
The dough is carried to this sheeter, where it's pressed into, for lack of a better word, a sheet.
As soon as it's pressed into a 2-millimeter thick layer, it's cut into triangles.
So many triangles. This line produces 16,000 chips every minute.
Get out your calculators, kids. That works out to 24 million chips a day.
More than 7 billion chips each year.
Which is how they can afford to offer an amazing benefit to their employees.
And listen carefully. All you can eat chips.
Guacamole.
All you can eat.
All you can eat nonstop?
All you can eat chips nonstop.
The legends are true.
The endless procession of chips move to this triple-decker oven.
In just 20 seconds, the chips zip through each of these 3 stories, getting flipped over each time they fall to the next level.
This ensures that both sides of the chips get baked evenly.
And while we're here, we should probably point out that this oven is...
Muy caliente.
Translation, very hot.
The baked chips fall onto this conveyor, where they get a good shake to ensure that they're not sticking together before they go into...
Ah, the fryer. Yes, these magnificent chips are baked and fried.
They spend just 60 seconds in the fryer before coming out of the hot oil and onto this conveyor, where the excess oil drains off and they cool down.
Next, these perfectly crispy chips have a date with deliciousness.
They travel into the seasoning tunnel, where they're showered with bright green seasoning powder.
Oh, yes, a glorious blend of powdered avocado, garlic, onion, and buttermilk coats the chips as they tumble through the tunnel.
This green goodness is too precious to waste, so don't be dainty, folks.
When you eat a lot of guaca chips, it does leave a little bit of seasoning on your fingers. Which, of course, the best part is to lick it off. You don't want to waste any seasoning.
So, on the other end of the seasoning tunnel, the chips make an epic journey up, and along a series of conveyors to the drop layer.
This contraption weighs out 340 grams of chips and drops them into bags at the same time they're being formed and then sealed.
Each minute, 35 Fiestas in a bag are dropped down to the packaging area.
The bags pass through metal detectors, then they're tipped upright to make for easy grabbing by the packaging line.
5 at a time, these bags are grabbed and packed into cases of 15.
The cases are sealed and palletized. The pallets are moved onto a giant conveyor that automatically wraps them up and moves them to the warehouse, ready for shipping.
And ready for a fiesta, right, Barry?
Fiesta in your mouth.
Where all the best fiestas happen.
Vamos a bailar.
What does that mean?
Let's go dance.
I think he's talking to the chips.
Turn up the music.
The man wants to be alone with his guac and chips, and I respect that. Vamos!
To conclude our Fiesta-sode, we're out in sunny California with Jennifer Finley, the president and owner of cookie company Too Good Gourmet.
Yeah, they're the producers of this traditional Spanish shortbread cookie called the polvorones. Am I reading that right?
It's polvorones.
Sorry, what was that? Come again?
Polvorones.
All together now. Polvorones.
Sometimes referred to as Mexican wedding cookies. They're flaky, they've got a hint of citrus flavor, and they're coated in sweet, sweet cinnamon.
Many of the Too Good employees grew up with them and acted as the inspiration for the recipe.
The cookies are made in Too Good San Lorenzo facility, where the process begins with this hot tamale here.
La fiesta comienza aquí.
Victor starts off by filling the mixer with the raw ingredients, including this humorously large portion of butter.
The butter is soon joined by 24 kilograms of granulated sugar, 27 kilograms of powdered sugar, a 10 kilogram mix of vanilla and orange emulsion, plus 193 kilograms of flour.
After going for a little dance inside the mixer, Juan rolls over this bowl and hand chunks the dough inside. That bowl is rolled over to the extruding line, where the batch is transferred into the hopper above.
As the hopper fills, the dough is extruded out of the wire depositor below, 18 pieces at a time.
The rows of soon-to-be cookies then come across these cheerful ladies here.
Yes, and when not feigning enthusiasm for our camera crew, they're tasked with reshaping the dough into mounds.
There's no way of actually making this mound by machine, so we do it by hand. So it's actual real pans are being used to create these into the mound.
Once properly shaped, the mounds continue along, making their way into a 34-meter-long oven set to 176 degrees.
After 8 minutes, they emerge fully baked and looking more delicious than ever.
In fact, they look so delicious that our cameraman Hayden can't help but do a little taste testing himself.
Moving right along, the polvorones take a spin on the cooling conveyor, eventually falling off the line into waiting pans below.
Those pans are stacked up on these rolling racks and brought over to the most glorious bath you've ever seen in your life.
We, of course, mean this bin that's filled with irresistible cinnamon sugar.
The baked polvorones are dumped right in, where they're shuffled around to be fully covered in a glorious coat of sweet brown goodness.
I think the most important step in the process is the rolling of the cinnamon sugar, because that's what really gives them their flavor.
From here, the cookies are placed directly into plastic receptacles that advance on a slow-moving conveyor.
After a very short ride, they're taken off to be weighed and then moved to a perpendicular conveyor, which feeds them into a wrapping machine.
The wrapper enshrouds the trays in a long cellophane sleeve, which get cut and instantly sealed.
Now ready for their packaging, each tray is lifted off the line and manually placed into a branded box. A process which is more exciting than it may sound.
Here is the real fiesta.
And that about does it. The boxes are stacked up here, ready to be shipped across the continent.
So what are you waiting for, folks? Call up your family, invite over some friends, and get that fiesta started with these bite-sized cookies.
These are definitely a 2-bite cookie.
Really? They're so small, though.
I think you eat this at 1 bite at your own risk.
Check out the size of my mouth, Jennifer. I'm sure I can handle them in 1 bite, right?
I don't know. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, that does it for us, folks. Adios, amigos.
My Spanish was not so good.
It means bye, friends. You know what? The moment's lost. Just go to the credits. Vaya los creditos!
What?
Whatever.
For more information about the show, please visit foodnetwork.ca.